The United States and all members of the Security Council have an obligation to invoke the responsibility to protect the lives of our people, to protect the dignity of our people. The United States and all other countries must show clarity of purpose and focus. The international system is disjointed in its approach. This ambiguity has always given Mr. Biya and Cameroon an escape route, believing in the use of force to resolve political issues. This has gone on for the past 37 years because of the lack of a focused stance by the international community that should show Cameroon that the world is unwavering in its stance. It's unwavering, backing the very basic principles for the maintenance of international peace and security. That the world is unwavering in upholding the respect of human rights and human dignity. It has wavered in the face of brutality from Cameroon, giving it an opportunity to escape scrutiny for almost half a century.
The United Nations has called for an independent investigation into the violence and has said perpetrators of the killings should be held accountable. Meantime, opposition parties and rights groups in Cameroon have condemned the killings, which they have attributed to the Cameroon army. The Ministry of Defense denies the army is to blame. It, however, claims that only 5 civilians were killed in an unfortunate accident which was sparked by an explosion.
What has happened in Dongang and Montong is abominable. And I can assure you, it should engineer outrage from each and every one of us, from every people across the globe. The murder of children. And then the attempt to cover up, the attempt to blame others shows that they understand the gravity of the crime that they have committed. My fellow Ambazonians, we should never normalize. We should never normalize the killings of our people. We should never use the justification of war. We are the ones who've gone through torment from Cameroon. We are the ones who've gone through a lot of pain. We are the ones who should be angry. Yet, we haven't risen up as the victims against Cameroonians in our homeland. We haven't murdered Cameroonians. We haven't treated them with less kindness than we will treat our own people. Even Nigerians who found home in Ambazonia, whose country kidnapped our finest men and women and deported them under circumstances that defied the concept of humanity. We haven't risen against Nigerians in our homeland. We are the aggrieved party in this conflict. We are the victims in this conflict. But why has it been impossible for us to defy the logic of the respect of human dignity, to act in ways that are inconsistent with its protection against those who hurt us? Why has it been impossible for us to systematically target Cameroonians, some of which may be accomplices, internal enablers, collaborators to the brutal murders of our people? Because it's simply not Ambazonian. It's simply not Ambazonian to act in ways that defy the very logic for which we have risen up.
Yes, Mr. Post-Day regime. People who decide to kill all the southern Cameroon and Ambazonian. Yes, this is the massacre and the destruction. Yes, this is the massacre and the destruction and all the brutality and the brutalism. This is what happened in Cameroon today. With all the southern Cameroon Ambazonian, we are in struggle today. They kill all the family, they don't leave even one person. They scatter all the family. Look at all these young girls like this. They kill all our generation. They kill everybody and they burn all the home. We are living now in the struggle. God intervene to this our crisis. Father, Almighty God, come to us. We are the people of Ambazonia. We are suffering. Paul Biya and his own regime decide to kill us today. Paul Biya with his own regime. This is the struggle of people of Ambazonia. This thing happened in Ngarbuh, where they call Firu at Ngar. This father and mother to their master's room. See where the father are born in the fire. They are 3 days. Father, mother, and the 2 children. Here, this is 2 people are here. One father with 7 children. See the score for the boy. For the man boy. The man boy is here straight. Look the score. They burned all the houses today by the military, by the Paul Biya regime. We witnessed everything today. All the houses now burned. All the houses is now burned. This is what we call destruction and the... Yes. This killed today as Ngarbuh, where they call Firu. They killed Mr. Sika and his own family today. Yes. Many innocent souls have lost their souls. We are here in the struggle. Oh God. Oh God, intervene to our situation, Father.
The Nations has called for an independent investigation into the violence and has said perpetrators of the killings should be held accountable. Meantime, opposition parties and rights groups in Cameroon have condemned the killings, which they have attributed to the Cameroon army. The Ministry of Defense denies the army is to blame. It, however, claims that only 5 civilians were killed in an unfortunate accident which was sparked by an explosion.
Fellow Ambazonians, good morning. Today, na Friday, the 27th of the month of August. We come this morning for reassure una, say we stand strong. This one are the Major General for Mezam. I come for tell una say shake, day. As we come this morning, we tell una say for the past 7 getting to 8 years, una don't dey for our back. And we will continue for defend homeland. We no go blink for 1 second. Because say the days ahead, it will be very bloody. And for any man, when we go move for our instruction, he no respect am. That time, na he go face the consequences. My papa and mama me them, we want thank una all for una great support. We una don't ever dey for our back, and we no go ever left una halfway. We come for tell the international community, say we give them just a short time for release our leader, because if not, they go see which way it will happen. We salute una, and we salute all our mommy, our brother and our sisters. I talk for una say, this one at the AJ force on ground for Meza. Long live Ambazonia, short live the struggle.
My fellow Ambazonians, the fellow greatest, resilient, defiant, courageous, and the most loving people for this world. My brothers and sisters, my papa and my mommy them, I throw you a salute. Over the last 2 days, I should say when I don't read, when I don't watch, And I don't hear the big things them where they happen within the Western world regarding the Cameroon and Ambazonia conflict. Over the last 2 days, 3 leaders of Ambazonia Governing Council, 2 for United States, and 1 when are the leader of our liberation. What 2 comrade them, the 2 leaders them for the Ambazonia Governing Council for the United States, they will be visited by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, what they call and say the FBI. They will visit 2 officials of the Ambazonia Governing Council for the United States for questioning. Also, as when I don't hear the big story when I make headlines for all over the world, say the authorities, the intelligence services for Norway, they take the leader for questioning. We need to know now what did they really go on. Why now? Why this time? We need to know what did they really go on. The 2 weeks lockdown, we will put them in place. We will explain for our people them. That 2 weeks lockdown, the success will come out for the respect, the collective respect, the collective rejection of Cameroon. For that 2 weeks, we collectively as a people, we tell the world openly, say we collectively vomit La République du Bulu, Cameroon. For that 2 weeks, all we vomit and reject anything Cameroon for Ambazonia. For those 2 weeks, we tell the international community, say we don't want these wicked people them. We don't want these barbarians for our country anymore. We tell the world, say we want make Cameroon occupation come to an end, and we collectively we send a powerful one single message for 2 weeks straight. The entire Ambazonia territory, including Victoria, including Boya, it will be totally locked down. La République, we don't tell the international community says to get control of Ambazonia. It will be nowhere to be found. La République, we don't tell the international community say now is to get authority for Ambazonia. It will be nowhere to be found. La République, we don't tell the international community says to get control of the territory. It will be nowhere to be found. La République, even before the 2 weeks lockdown, La République sent an additional 5,000 to 10,000 police, gendarmes, army, and the bees for the Ambazonia territory. Who said the 10,000 extra police, gendarmes, and bees? Who said they be there for that 2 weeks? Who said Okala Bilai he be there for that 2 weeks? Who said Lele Lafrique he be there for that 2 weeks? Who said Diongote be there for that 2 weeks? Who said even Paul Biya be there for that 2 weeks? Now for who said the colonial parliamentarians they be there for that 2 weeks? Now who said the colonial senators they be there for that 2 weeks? Who said the colonial government delegates, the colonial DO, the colonial SDO, the colonial councillors, the people they talk saying that then they govern Ambazonia, who said they be there for those 2 weeks? They will be nowhere to be found. Now the success for that lockdown, where it showed the international community and La République, say the end of La République a presence for Ambazonia don't come. Now that shame, now that defeat, now that humiliation, openly, unquestionably, now you don't make Cameroon enough fit handle that defeat. Cameroon enough fit handle this big fat victory we don't score am. Cameroon enough fit handle how Ambazonia don't take back control of the territory. How the people collectively don't reject Cameroon. Cameroon enough fit handle am. Cameroon enough fit live with the shame. That's why, that's now waiting that way this issue between Dr. Cho and the Norwegian authority be about. Now the victory for ground zero is send this panic for all the recruited, paid, corrupted, bribed, compromised Ambazonians. Now I don't send them into shock. Now I don't send into shock all the beneficiaries of the occupation, the people that did survive financially, economically, for the blood of our people them. Now I don't send them into shock. Now I don't make them don't panic. For good to create, for good to engineer all these things them, for change the subject from Ambazonia defeat of Cameroon to now say the security forces for Canada, for US and for Norway, they go after Ambazonian leaders. Now that defeat, it don't make Cameroon don't the engineer all these things them for force the international community for respond, for make an investigation. That's what this is all about. They want to divert the attention from the defeat into some illusion. Say the international community now they go after Ambazonia leaders, Ambazonia activists. Now that defeat, it don't make Paul Biya, Diongute, they not fit handle the shame. Now it don't make them, they engineer all these things. Because once you file complaints a lot, the system must respond. They must question people them. The one also, now a very good news for Ambazonians. Because it don't open the doors for educating the people who never receive the education between the difference between Ambazonia and Cameroon. Because Cameroon, they tell them, say, all the things that they happen for their territory. Now we educate, we take the time for educate these Western authorities about the conflict, about the genocide, about Cameroon, their fraud, about their occupation, about their colonialism. Now that they see things for the way they not be understanding before. It don't create a door of understanding, a door of research, a door for put this conflict for the context and the place we deserve to be. Cameroon, it don't touch the wrong person at the wrong time. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. The man we now you give you a right for self-defense. The man we invoke a right for self-defense. The man we build we an army. The man we naive is strategies. They don't crumble the system. The man we when he cough, the entire Republic the shake. The man we from the World Bank report to the IMF report to the report for Stanford University. All them don't talk. Say naive. The structure we don't put them in place. Now it's shaking Cameroon. So fellow Ambazonians, now period this, During this questioning period where they keep the leader will take the time for educate, explain what will be, what will they fight for, what will the conflict be about, and put Cameroon for their place. This beginning, it will take them to the highest level for the international system. It not go only end between Ambazonia, the leader, and the lawyers, and the state of Norway, and the intelligence services of Norway. It not go end for some court for Norway. It will go for the highest level for the world. This Ambazonia, a case, now Cameroon says if you don't take your hand, you open the door, make this case now it reach for the highest places for the world. Now a new chapter for the internationalization of the Ambazonian struggle and the plight of the Ambazonian people then. Now one of the victories in this. So make una no live and make Cameroon it change the subject and it confuse una or put fear for una heart. We don't beat them, we don't defeat them. They try for divert attention of the conversation and the narrative. Make we not give them that chance. In the next 5 days, October 1 they come. We'll call on all our people them. Make them get ready for score another big victory for project our freedom and our independence and our country. For all Ambazonian forces them. For all our commanders and our generals. The leaders don't prepare una for this day. The leader don't prepare una for this time. Now una be authorities for the land. Una take control. Una protect una people them. Una defend them. The country, the territory, it then under una authority. For all Ambazonians for diaspora. Now the time this for rally, for stand with ground zero as they prepare for Independence Day celebration. At the time this for focus, the leader don't tell we if he don't prepare himself for this moment. We thank God. Say they not be successful assassinated over the last 7 years. Even be safer for place where they than if he be outside here. So now an opportunity for Ambazonia. Now enough time for everybody for step up and stand for the one way they did for prison. Stand with the refugees. Stand with the one way they be displaced. Stand with the one way they don't burn their houses. Stand with all the Ambazonians and are victims of Cameroun genocide for our country. At time this for you for stand for the refugees. And our Independence Day and the day we all we for diaspora and for ground zero for stand with all the victims and for declare our freedom. My name is Lucas Asu, the spokesman of Ambazonia Governing Council.
If you're asking my personal opinion to keep Cameroon one must be divisible. Because it's a cliche that Cameroon is one and indivisible. Because it's not true. Culturally, we are divisible. Language-wise, we are divisible. The law-wise, we have inherited that. So anybody who says Cameroon is one and indivisible is a fallacy. And so we would have to handle that issue very squarely and objectively. And that's what I call the truth. The truth must prevail. There is no doubt that there are people of both sides, that cherish their heritage. And the only way of keeping Cameroon together is to respect the respective heritages that we do have.
Quick reaction to the allegation that Cho Ayaba has been arrested. I, Larry Eyong-Echo, hereby assert that Western countries have been participating in sustaining dictators in Africa, and the consequences of this sustenance of dictators by the United States, France, England, and the rest of the Western countries has been the deteriorating security situation in Africa. The West is responsible. Emmanuel Macron colluded with some unscrupulous officials in the United States government to get some Ambazonian leaders to be arrested. That will not solve the problem of the dictatorship of Paul Biya, who's been in power for 42 years at 92 years, killing journalists. We are sending a message to the Western world. The continued support of dictators is the perpetuation of the poverty of the continent and insecurity, and the arrest of leaders will not solve the problem. We are ready to be arrested. We know the history of the United States and Western countries. They sustained the apartheid regime in South Africa and were supporting murderers like Jonas Savimbi for geostrategic interests. So this is a non-starter, and we will go right to the International Court of Justice. My name is Larry Ayong. I'm from Cameroon, and I support Cho Ayaba. Quick reaction to the allegation that Cho Ayaba has been arrested. I
Le destin présidentiel se dessine peu à peu avec sa nomination comme Premier ministre d'Amadou Ahidjo. Il est le successeur
In the history of La République du Cameroun, two men have held the nation hostage at gunpoint, Ahidjo and Paul Biya. This is the story of Paul Biya versus Ambazonia. His entire life, Biya has believed he is untouchable, that no one or group of people can dare hold him accountable. He murders, loots treasuries, exiled opponents, jail others and bribe the rest into surrender. He murdered his wife and killed the husband of the current wife. He has murdered Ambazonians who rose up. He killed baby Martha, burned Mami Api in the house. He butchered Samsoya and got his head chopped off. He burned thousands of Ambazonian homes and villages, drove millions from their homes and turned them into IDPs and refugees. He murdered children in Ngarbuh on Valentine's Day. All those he couldn't kill, he locked them up. Some who escaped were kidnapped from abroad and brought back to Cameroon. This is the story of a lifetime of a cheap murderer and a war criminal who has survived every opposition until the Ambazonian people rose up.
Have you heard of Ambazonia?
We now have an army determined against all odds to defend the land. An army which is armed, disciplined, and equipped to stop this war criminal from escaping justice again. And most importantly, a nationalist, no-blinking, uncompromising leader who stands up to bullies, murderers, looters, and cheats.
All what it takes.
If we fail, Cameroon has promised to put every Ambazonian in a concentration camp, kill all those in jail, and make everyone else work in CDC plantations as slaves. We, the Ambazonian people, have the powers to render our verdict on Biya. We are his nightmare. Stand with Ambazonia.
Let the IDPs who've been suffering get schools reopened completely, and to get our suffering people back into a life of normalcy.
You see, all what we are currently commenting, analyzing, condemning in the strongest terms has a genesis. And Mr. Liu, we've got to tell ourselves the truth, looking at each other on the face. Mr. Liu, it is a historical fact that the liars-in-chief of this government have been lying to Cameroonians, especially the elites of the Northwest and Southwest region. Until when His Excellency the President of the Republic made a declaration in France and said there was an assimilation agenda by the government of Cameroon to assimilate Southern Cameroonians in this God-so-blessed country. Mr. Liu, it is a historical fact that this God-so-blessed country had 2 stars on its flag. That simply meant 2 people came together to build this great nation. Each time, Mr. Leo, I watch at the pictures that were taken in Fumban, the banner reads, "How pleasant it is for brethren to dwell or come together." Today, we are seeing Cameroonians killing each other simply because there was an agenda for assimilation. And ever since the head of state of this great country made that pronouncement, Mr. Leo, we have not had commentaries or even apologies from our elites that have been lying to us that everything is okay. There was no assimilation agenda. There was no marginalization. My co-panelist on the right made mention a while ago. We started with rubber gun. It went on to Dane guns. We have now had sophisticated equipment.
I was not part of that program.
How did we get here? Is a question you've asked me. We have gotten here because of greed. We have gotten here because of egocentrism. We have gotten here because we don't have love for fatherland. And Mr. Leo, we must be able to tell ourselves nothing but the truth. Each time you enthrone a lie, the truth becomes the rebel. Cameroonians are dying every day simply because we want to tell ourselves the truth. Mr. Leo, the government of Cameroon refused to apply the constitution that was given to them, and today we are talking about fast-tracking decentralization. Mr. Leo, I want to say it in all honesty. The government bench of Cameroon has to take responsibility to end this crisis. If the head of state of this country admitted in an international platform that there was an agenda of assimilation, where is the justice to give the people of Southern Cameroon special status? Where is the justice?
Fellow compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, at long last, here we are in Buea. Here we are in Buea to celebrate the 50th anniversary of our reunification. As the English people say, better late than never. In fact, after a long period of preparation, we are finally glad to be here at this historic town of Buea, the town of legendary hospitality. I am glad to be in Buea, the bedrock of our reunification. History has not forgotten that Buea was the headquarters of West Cameroon. History has not forgotten that Buea was the capital of Southern Cameroun'S.
All Ambazonian forces, you must associate yourself with the political leadership that brings accountability and that brings regulation in order for us to be effective internationally with our diplomacy. It is a must. You have no choice. You have no leader other than Dr. Ayaba. All Ambazonian forces, you must associate yourself with the political leadership that brings accountability and that brings regulation in order for us to be effective internationally with our diplomacy. It is a must. You have no choice. You have no leader other than Dr. Ayaba. All Ambazonian forces, you must associate yourself with the political leadership that brings accountability and that brings regulation in order for us to be effective internationally with our diplomacy. It is a must. You have no choice. You have no leader other than Dr. Ayaba.
I told you before, when the time comes, they will come to us. And I remind you, I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so you don't forget. Because I know they are trying to take me down. But even if I'm not around, don't forget. So you don't forget. Because I know they are trying to take me down. But even if I'm not around, don't forget. You don't owe them child support. Don't forget the crimes they've committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle. They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they? Where them they? Watana wata. Ambazonians, don't be fooled. They fooled us before, not this generation. This is the never again generation that has decided to write the last chapter of its own history, to pen down the story of General Ayaba, the bravery of our patriots who fought in trenches with den guns. The stakes are high. Negotiations is not to give you freedom. It's to maintain the status quo. To maintain stability for international exploitation and conspiracy against our own humanity. They aren't coming to talk for the liberation of our detainees, our prisoners of war. They come like Trojan horses with bayonets to murder our patriots volunteers. My fellow people, the kind of country we want to leave to the next generation is one where people find peace and happiness and hope. Where people can laugh even in poverty. They can transform their own society to reflect the kind of society they want to build. We want to build a country where he can walk in and feel at home. Where she can walk in and feel at home. We want to build a country where if you are a hairdresser, you take pride in creating beauty. If you are a farmer, you are happy producing cassava, being able to turn it into gari and find the market 6,000 kilometers away. We want to build a country where we can have a curriculum of education that empowers our people to capture the creative energy of sunlight and power every home. We want to make sure you can capture the rain of the rainy season and make sure you can still eat fresh fruit in the dry season. We want to build a country where you can find peace, you can unite your body and your soul and have hope even in poverty. We want to build a country for all of you. So when your final days shall come and you bequeath to the next generation something better than was given to you. That's why you've taken time off to come to this hall today. You're the finest, you are the bravest, you are the warriors of our war of independence. Don't let anyone fool you. I stand between you and your colonizers. And I'll make sure you're going to have your freedom. Freedom is a universal currency. It's valid through time and space. And as a human being, you should take pride in it. I thank you for your sacrifices, for your dedication. I thank you for the investment you've made in the last years for having hope in this leadership. You are the grassroots. You must have taken note, as he said, you are the vanguard of our revolution. If you look through this hall, we have Ambazonians, professors and doctors in South Africa. You will find very few of them around. You will decide who will govern you. All those in exile must think like entrepreneurs, opportunity creators, for those battling in the bushes, for those fighting on a daily basis. I ask all of you to recommit. In the next few months, we can write Cameroun's obituary in our homeland. Thank you, fellow Ambazonians. Thank you, South Africans, for coming here tonight. God bless you all, and God protect Ambazonia.
The CIC. All Ambazonian forces, you must associate yourself with the political leadership that brings accountability and that brings regulation in order for us to be effective internationally with our diplomacy. It is a must. You have no choice. You have no leader other than Dr. Cho Ayaba. All Ambazonian forces, you must associate yourself with the political leadership that brings accountability and that brings regulation in order for us to be effective internationally with our diplomacy. It is a must. You have no choice. You have no leader other than Dr. Cho Ayaba.
You can see how the flag is flying up. We have hosted the flag in Babaki. This is Babaki Tungo. We are right in the palace. We have hosted the flag up. And the flag is going up. Means that we have accepted to be one Ambazonian. I'm Ayaba somewhere reporting from Babaki Tungo. Watch and see what is happening in the palace. You see the population. We have about 10,000 people here hosting the flag. This is our flag. It shall remain here until the day that we have our independence. The day is not far from now. We know 1st October will be the same thing.
Free Ambazonia, leave me alone. Free Ambazonia. Job it. Yeah. Someone will go.
You can see how the flag is flying up. We have hosted the flag in Babaki. This is Babaki Tungo. We are right in the palace. We have hosted the flag up. And the flag is going up. Means that we have accepted to be one Ambazonian. I'm Ayaba somewhere reporting from Babaki Tungo. Watch and see what is happening in the palace. You see the population. We have about 10,000 people here hosting the flag. This is our flag. It shall remain here until the day that we have our independence. The day is not far from now. We know 1st October will be the same thing.
The town has finally changed.
Our demonstration is peaceful. We want Cameroonians to be free. Not the Cameroonians. If Mr. Biya wants to be free, let us bring back marketing box. Let us bring back our prisoners back. Let him come for negotiation table. We want Ambazonia to be free. We are not surrounded by the French. We don't have roads. We don't have bush schools. We don't have good education. We have unemployment. We want Ambazonia to be free. We the youth of Southern Cameroon. We are fighting for our rights. We want America, United Nations, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Germans, England. They should come together to rescue us.
You most high God, be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom. You shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The most high God, be the watchman of this nation.
Welcome to ACN.